All right, welcome back. Keeping it 100. Right now we're with Flame. Introduce yourself.
Oh, nah, yeah, Flame, Blakk Flame, either one. Both works. To be honest, most people just call me Flame anyway. Nobody ever says the whole thing, so
Flame
is fine.
It's catchy, it's good.
Yeah.
I like it. We're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We got FPV drones. I'm super excited. This whole morning, this whole night couldn't sleep. I was just so hyped about this. I was putting this thing together last night, and I just really want to hear your story, how you got into this, what started the whole thing.
All right. To be honest, when I first started flying drones, it was back when they was kind of just expensive toys. So I had a Mavic, one of the older Mavics back then, and then a friend of mine that gave me a Phantom, one of the Phantom 1s. Big, slow, but probably like the best camera at the time that you could get. And then I broke it. And like I said, it was just an expensive toy at the time, so it just sat in the closet for a long time. Then I finally ended up getting it fixed, but since I knew how expensive it was to break, I stopped flying it. I kind of just left it in the closet and didn't really fly. I brought it out every once in a while, like, yeah, I got a drone, yeah, and put it right away. But then one day, a few years later, a friend of mine called me. He was like, bro, you still got that flying camera thing? And I'm like, yeah, why, what's up? He was like, my boss got this roof with like a 40-degree grade on it, and he don't want to send nobody up there, and we need to check it and see what's going on up there. Can you come out? I said, yeah, I'm on my way. Went up there, took some pictures, took some video for him, came back down. Dude paid me $300. From that day, I went on eBay and found a better drone, a more updated one that was like $400. It was a Mavic Air 2. Bought that. Got back into drones, started flying all the time. Then I ended up getting the DJI FPV, which everybody calls the potato. Crashed it multiple times, spent $700-800 getting it fixed multiple times, and then finally got into FPV. My first FPV drone was a Emax Hawk Pro.
The tiny one, right?
No, this is their 5-inch race drone.
5-inch, okay, that's a big one.
The Emax Hawk Pro. And they sent me the wrong one, but I was running it. I didn't know. They sent me 4S, technically it was supposed to be 4S motors because they were high KV.
Yeah.
But I'm running them on 6S. So I'm wondering why, because this thing's so fast. It was ridiculously fast. I smashed the canopy like the first 3 flights, smashed the canopy. So now it had to sit for like 2 weeks while I waited for another one to come.
Damn.
And then from there, I bought this big tub. I bought a big tub of used gear from a dude for $200. And I bullshit you not, it was like 15 frames in there, about 50 motors, batteries, ESCs, flight controllers, propellers, pretty much everything I needed to build a whole fleet of drones. But at the same time, I didn't know nothing. And some of it didn't work. So my whole first year of drones was all troubleshoot. I had to figure out how to make this piece work, how to make that piece work. Why does this make this many beeps, but this one don't make this many beeps? And I just kind of had to figure it out because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah,
the guy I bought the stuff from, was leaving the hobby, so I couldn't really ask him. I couldn't hang out with him and figure stuff out. So I was just sitting there, me, Joshua Bartwell, YouTube and Facebook, and I just started figuring stuff out. Burnt myself, shocked myself, cut myself, props, all the damages that could happen. You know what I mean? I knocked stuff over in the room, trying to hover test in the room in the beginning, and the drone freaked out. Like, all of it. I've been there, done there. And now we're here. Now I've got footage in a movie, I've done music videos, I've done commercials, and I plan to do a whole lot more. It's a lot coming up in store in these next couple of years.
That's awesome how it's a hobby, but it's also a job.
Right.
Like,
right.
It's the best of both.
Definitely.
You do what you love, and you love what you do.
Right. When you're doing what you love, you don't have to work a day in your life.
Dude, that's awesome. And props, bro. That's awesome. I'm amazed. And talk about this.
So
I'm
this
excited.
right here, this is a Superfly flip mode, 5-inch freestyle quad. So this is what you would use somewhere like here, a Bando or something like that, maybe an office park, doing flips and tricks and upside down and backwards and stuff like that. Then you got stuff like this. This is a Cinewhoop. You would use this for filming. This specifically would be for filming up close or indoor small spaces because this can't hurt nobody. It's real small, real light. It's got the prop guards on it. I mean, technically it could still nick you if you got your finger in there and it would hurt, but it's not gonna do what this one's gonna do. So it's a different realm.
Yeah,
then you got something like yours, which is a little bigger, a little stronger. You can stick a GoPro on here and it'll still be able to fly. That, you just use the onboard camera. This one, you can actually stick a GoPro on there and get opinionably better footage. It depends on who you're talking to. Sometimes O3 footage is better than GoPro footage. It kind of just depends on the application. If you're gonna be doing low light, you want a GoPro.
Okay.
For sure, because the O3 is not great in low light. It'd be a little grainy, depending on how high you have to jack the ISO to really get the picture clear.
Got it. Cool.
This thing is dangerous.
I mean, everybody wants to start off with this because it's easy.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because it's easy, and then it kind of teaches you bad habits, because once you move over to the sticks, it's a lot more precise. It's a lot different once you move over to the sticks from that. And it was kind of a jip from DJI when they first started selling the Avata with only that, because then people didn't even know about this, because a lot of times people just seen it online and was like, oh, I'm gonna order this drone, it's cool, you can control it with your hand, never knowing that they got a whole nother level they're missing out on, because you can do so much more with this than you can with that. Like, it's so much more.
And I'm starting off brand new. I mean, Crank over here just got me into this. He's gave me a little taste, and look at me, I'm already getting this.
Yeah.
So
that's something perfect to start out with, to be honest, because it's small enough to where it's not heavy enough to smash itself when you crash. So you'll have a little more durability. When you start going faster, that's gonna be a little less durable, because more speed and you smacking into stuff, the ducts will break, but they're also cheap to replace. So it's not gonna be a big too big of a headache. If I'm not mistaken, it's like what, 4 screws. Yeah,
that's a couple screws, yeah, and it just comes off.
Yeah, like 4 to 6 screws to get those off,
8,
and then and you're good to go. Pop another one on there, and boom, you're done. So that's something good to start with, and it's probably powerful enough without the GoPro that you can kind of get a feel for really moving it around. Like tiny whoops are kind of good to start, but they're a little less powerful. Yeah, they're a lot less powerful. So they get you to know the stick movements, which is good. It gets you that muscle memory. You know what makes the drone do what, but you'll outgrow it fast.
What recommendations would you have for, I mean, me, just someone brand new to this, someone that doesn't know how to fly? What would you recommend? I'm on a simulator right now, so I'm practicing.
That's it right there. You doing right. Get as much time as you can on the sim, but also you gotta adjust the sim. If, like when you were telling me earlier how you feel like it moves too fast.
Yeah, it's just zippy.
Adjust your camera angle in the sim, and also you gotta adjust the rates. Kind of watch a couple videos that'll tell you a little more in depth what rates are. The rates of rotation is how much it moves with each stick movement.
Okay.
So you want to slow your rates down, so that way when you move the stick, it doesn't just spin out like Tasmanian devil. It'll lean.
Yeah.
Put some expo on it. What expo is, it takes your movement curve, instead of being a straight line. So when you take the stick, it just goes straight to a value. There's a curve to it. So as you move the stick in the middle, it's not gonna really do nothing. But the more you move it, the more response you get.
Oh.
That'll help you be smoother in the beginning. And as you get better, you take the expo down further and further. Some people fly with no expo. I still fly with a little bit myself. It just makes it easier, and it makes your quad less twitchy. Cool. So that way you don't have that snappy, jerky movement that you're talking about that you don't like.
So I didn't know that was a thing. For me, expo, that's brand new, because I'm used to the crawlers. I'm used to putting expo on the crawlers, but I thought there was just one set, and you just fly like that.
No, when you really get into it, like with the sims, with the better sims, Uncrash, Velocidrone, you can go in and you can tune them so that way you can get it to feel as close as like your in real life drone will feel when you're flying. It'll never be 1-to-1, but they're getting close, because they're partnering up with Betaflight, which is the software that runs the flight controllers in the actual drones, and they're using some of the same software that the flight controllers use to judge the movement of the quads in the game.
Okay.
So it's close. And also, the stick movements are still the same. What's different is the physics. So in the sim, you might fall a hell of a lot slower than in real life. Stuff like that. Or you might have more time to duck out of this maneuver because your drone's not moving the way it would really move in real gravity. But the stick movements required to do so are still the same.
Cool.
So practicing in the sim, I feel, is a great tool. It translates over better than taking your drone up in the air and smashing it. Now you have this kind of apprehension to take your drone up and try stuff because you just smashed it and spent 2 weeks and $200 to fix it.
That's why you recommend the simulator.
Yeah.
Just get that practice.
Get your hours in on the sim and smash into stuff and get back up and just press the button and reset.
Cool. I'm trying to get a good grasp of turning and just knowing where I'm at. What do you recommend on that? Like,
with turning and knowing where you at, before you take off, survey where you flying. Get a good look at where you flying and look at the stuff that's up above you. Get a good look at everything that's up above you, like even here. Get a good look at everything that's up above you, so that way when you go up, you know what's where. Okay, that smokestack is behind me, the other building is behind me, that rested thing is over there. So that way you kind of set landmarks for yourself.
Okay.
That way you don't get lost. Once you do that, the best thing, like for your turns, focus on using both sticks. You turn with both sticks. You got to coordinate your turns, because if you just spin with one,
you drift off.
Well, not only do you drift off, if you're not flat, say if you get to pulling your yaw left and you're not flat, it's gonna make you tip weird. So say if you're going forward and you turn with all yaw, you're gonna do this. You're not gonna actually turn. You're just gonna spin like this and keep going that way.
Your thrust is still going the other way.
Yeah, your thrust vector is still going that way. When you turn with both sticks, it turns the whole thing and changes the direction of your thrust vector that sends you the other direction. So you gotta use both sticks. When you're in like angle mode, stuff like that, or the DJI drones, they kind of do it for you. But when you're flying in manual, you gotta use both sticks, or you just gonna kind of be out there like a duck. You're gonna try to go forward and turn, and you're gonna end up like this, all sideways. Next thing you know, you're confused and you're going down.
that's what I'm going right now. That's what I'm struggling with.
But see, don't be afraid of that. It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. There's no getting around it. You're gonna crash. You're gonna break something. Buy spares. It's gonna happen. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're Johnny FPV. You break stuff.
It's part of the hobby.
Yeah, it's part of it. There's no getting around it. Period.
Cool. Well, yeah. As long as you know that, I mean, you're just more prepared for that.
Yeah.
You're gonna go for it. You're gonna accept it, and it's gonna happen.
Yep. You gotta send it. That's the only way you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're gonna go up there. You're gonna try something, and you're gonna fuck up, and you're gonna be like, okay, now I know where I fucked up. Let me go back and not do that. So then you do it right.
And you progress.
Yep.
That's the way you grow. I like that. Nice. Talk to us about this place. I'm impressed. This is crazy.
This is the Bayshore Roundhouse. This is like an iconic bando for graffiti artists, FPV, like old school Sharpoo videos were shot here when they was racing FPV drones that were like made out of old security camera electronics and Wii controller gyros and shit. Like before there was anything as a FPV company. I think like Team Black Sheep, TBS was like the only FPV company at the time, and they still were like in their infancy. I don't even think they really had any like official products or anything yet. And they were racing drones here. That's where I first seen this place in that video. And I was like, you know what, that's close. I'm gonna go find it and see if I can get in. And me not knowing this area at the time, my first time here, I had to jump the damn fence. I didn't know you could just drive right in and just walk in just wide open. I had to jump the damn fence, almost twisted my ankle. Got stuck on, there's a big slit right here in this part of the fence, but then there's another one on the other side, and it's not as big. My dumb ass, not knowing this one was here, tried to slip through there and rip my jacket. It was a horrible day until I started flying. Once I started flying, it was worth it. I was here by myself, didn't have no problems. I left with a working drone. I didn't smash my drone to pieces. And then I just been coming back whenever I can. Now this I'm not sure what this was. I think it might have been like a silo or maybe some kind of distribution for something, but now it's open. So I'm probably gonna try to dive that today. Might break some shit, but
hey, if you do, we'll get the footage and show them.
Yeah, if we break some shit, so what? I brought extra arms, so I'm gonna fucking send it. But what this place used to be was, back in the days when trains didn't have reverse, they would come in here, get on this big turntable, and get spun around and sent back out on the next track or in the next direction they needed to go. Or they would bring them in and load them and then spin it around and send it right back where it was going, or whatever the case may be. And there was a bunch of different tracks that came into here from different places. That's how they kind of like rerouted the trains. It was crazy.
That's cool. That's awesome to hear this. About, you just said you like freestyle, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about the different styles.
So you got freestyle, you got racing, you got cinematics. To be honest, they're all fingers on one hand. Well, a Simpson hand, I guess you could say, with only 3 fingers. But they're all fingers of the same hand, in my opinion.
Okay.
You got to know a little bit of all of them to really be good or to excel at any one.
Okay.
Like for cinematics, you need the kind of repetition or the ability to do something over and over again precisely. You get that from racing. That helps you with filming, because say if y'all can't get the shot right, but you need to be in the exact same spot. If it ain't your fault you ain't getting the shot right, but you got to be there. You got to make sure that your camera is there on time. Like those crazy action shots in movies like Ambulance and guys with flying drones under exploding cars. That racing expertise helps with that, because it teaches you precision, predictable precision. You can do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you can control it and make it look good. So racing helps with that. Freestyle, when you see again those same moves, doing crazy stuff under a car, that comes from freestyle. But then the being able to repeat it in that like
precise repetition.
Well, not even that. It's being able to take those creative moves and use them for the kind of video shots that you can't get with a camera on the ground. That's what freestyle gives you. It gives you that kind of creative eye to look at something and be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go flip around and split ass behind him, and then I'm gonna come in this way backwards. Like, a guy on the ground's not gonna think about that, because you can't do it. You can't go up 30 feet above somebody's head and swoop in behind them. Yeah. So it just gives you that extra flair. So that's why I say they all kind of go together. Freestyle videos, it has its own art to it as well, because what looks good on camera differs between each person. It's like real expression. You can kind of tell almost a little bit about a person by the way they fly.
You kind of remind me like skateboarding in a way.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own style.
That's exactly what it is. It's air skateboarding.
Everybody has their own style.
It's
right?
air skateboarding. The culture is almost identical. It's air skateboarding, bro.
Okay. That's a good way to put it.
That's air skateboarding. All the tricks have wild names that don't really make sense, except for some of them.
Name a couple off the top of your head.
So, for instance, my son pointed this out to me the other day. A split S.
Split S.
Split S looks nothing like a damn S or any shape of an S, but it's called a split S. Why? I don't fucking know. But that's what it's called. A Rubik's Cube kind of resembles the movements that you spin the Rubik's Cube itself. So a Rubik's Cube, you go upside, it's a half flip, half spin, half roll.
Kind of resembles a movement.
It resembles the movements of a Rubik's Cube. So it kind of makes sense. But then you got stuff like a trippy spin, which if you don't know what a trippy spin is, you'd be like, what the fuck is that? And that's basically where you spin around an object upside down and backwards.
You can do that?
I can do it sometimes.
I'm just blown away that's possible. Damn.
I can do it sometimes, not always. It's not an easy trick. It's basically an orbit in reverse. So you're basically orbiting, but in reverse.
That is
so
wild.
As you fly backwards, you're basically flying backwards around an object.
How do you fly backwards if you can't see backwards?
That's what makes everything when you're going backwards so dope. It's all blind.
Wow. Dude.
When people do those backwards gaps and stuff like that you see on videos, it's either they've tried it a bunch of times going forward so they know what it looks like both ways, or it's just all timing.
Damn.
I'm gonna do this flip and I'm gonna catch the throttle right now. And you either smack something or you don't.
Wow. Wow. Dude, the more and more I keep talking to you, the more and more I'm impressed and amazed. And
like, I would say, me personally, I would say 50% of blind moves are luck. Some of 50, I'd say a good 50 is skill, because some people just know how to line stuff up, go through it forward a couple times, and they figure out how to line it up, and it's good timing. They know their quad, real good tune, so they know how it's gonna respond and stuff like that. Rest of it, you're just getting fucking lucky. Be honest with you.
Got a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, I done sent some shit before, like, ooh. Everybody be like, what happened? Bro, I just hit the tiniest gap ever on accident.
And the cool thing, you can get it on video. So it's like for us, when we're crawling and we hit a gap or we hit a line that we can do, if we don't get it on video, it didn't happen.
Right.
Like, we don't care.
That's how it is with FPV. If it ain't on video, if you can't post a video, show somebody the video, it don't count.
It didn't happen. I mean, you can say you did it all you want, but
you can say everything you want. Nah, that shit don't count.
It don't matter. Show me the
where the footy at?
Yeah, there you go.
You got the footy, it don't count. It's over.
Nice. The same thing then.
Yep.
Same thing.
Same concept.
It's cool how a lot of things cross over, and I'm just understanding it because I come from crawler world, so that's all me right there. And I'm really trying to get into this FPV, and I'm having an easier time, understanding things, ESCs, components, motors.
Right.
I'm just to show you real quick, motors that we have, they're revolver motors.
Yikes. So these are brushless motors, kind of like ours.
Yeah.
But it's just
in a crawler sense. They have the ESC controller. They have the receiver.
But it has gears, though. That's crazy. Wait, that is a gear, isn't it? Or
yeah.
Is that,
it's a gear on a transmission.
It's like a little transmission, yeah. Holy shit. That's crazy.
So, I'm getting an easier time understanding, and I can't wait to get building into this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'll have an easier time progressing into it. I can solder, I can build, I can wrench.
I like that. And that's a little servo.
So this is one of our company's chassis that we do. So we do these flexible chassis. That's something different that most people don't do.
Okay.
It gives us another edge of flex. Just to give you a little bit of understanding about what I'm into.
That's dope.
But yeah,
that gives you a lot of room to pretty much do whatever you want as far as like moving places you need to go.
Yep.
That's dope. Now I see how some of these little trucks be crawling up walls and shit.
Yeah, Spider-Man style over here.
That's crazy. That's dope.
Thank you. And yeah, that's my next question actually. Explain to me, break down how a drone is built, like what components it has. For me, I can understand electronic speed controller, motor, servo, receiver.
So you got your flight controller, you got your ESC, you got a receiver, video transmitter, camera, motors, antenna, of course, and battery. And you got your propellers. There's different kind of video transmitters. You got analog, you got HD, you got a shit ton of different brands for as far as video transmitters are concerned. Excuse me. You got a shit ton of options on flight controllers and ESCs. I mean, of course, some of the companies you already deal with are some of the same companies we get stuff from. Excuse me. Or some of the same companies we get stuff from.
You're saying like Tattoo, right? Tattoo's a battery that you guys also use?
Tattoo's a battery we also use. Me, myself, I don't use them for freestyle.
Okay.
They're not the most durable for freestyle. Their performance is great for anything else, but if you get into bumping them against stuff, in my experience, they don't last. They don't last when you bump them into stuff. For me, so far, CNHL and Ovonics have been the only ones that I know that you can beat the hell out of and they still work.
Okay.
Like, I still have some CNHLs that I bought when I first started that still work.
Damn. Damn.
That still work. They sag like shit and they're shitty batteries, but they still work. I can fly on them, I can test on them, stuff like that. I wouldn't like use them for work or anything like that because they're like at the limit where they're gonna quit pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't trust them for work or anything like that, but just for fucking around out here, stuff like that, they're still good.
Nice.
Like a Tattoo battery, I give you 4 crashes, max.
Damn.
1 if it's too hard. It's gonna drop a cell on you for sure.
Have you had any batteries pop on you?
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh, shit.
Not on the charger like some unlucky people have, but I have had batteries catch fire on my drone. I've had crashes where the battery gets ejected, and that's the way I found it because it started to fire. I've had batteries like turn into smoke machines in the middle of a parking lot at an office park when we were flying. Yeah, I've had a battery right after I took it off the charger and set it on the ground. Went back to the car, came back, it was on fire.
Oh shit.
And those brands I stay away from now. To be honest, a lot of the first fires I ever had with batteries were all with the same brand, Z.
Oh shit.
I don't use Z Power batteries no more. Those and this brand called Race Pow. They were super cheap, so I bought a bunch of them. They flew good, but as soon as you bump one, they puff up and like catch on fire, like instantly. Like one. What did I hit? I think I hit a basketball pole of for the basketball court with padding on it. I hit it going kind of fast and battery first.
Yeah.
The battery dented in and it also came unplugged, so I had to go over there. When I get over there to pick it up, the battery is swelling. As I'm walking up to it, I'm like, oh shit. So I had to go snatch it off, and I throw it in the parking lot, and it just swelled, it just puffed up like a puffer fish, and then finally it punctured, and there's white smoke everywhere.
Damn.
For like a good 3-4 minutes, it just billowing white smoke. Like, what the fuck? And I was still new at this time, so I was like, what the fuck's going on? I'm all nervous, I'm all ready to leave, but I'm like, I can't just leave that there. So I just waited for it to finish, and then I got it, threw it in I took a Gatorade jar, and I had a little a knife, cut the Gatorade jar open, put a bunch of water in there, and I just put it in there and closed it. And like put the top back on with a bunch of tape and just left it. And then I came back after I was done flying, came back and got it and took it with me. And I didn't know what to do with it, so it sat at my house for like 2 weeks outside on the porch, sitting in the salt water. Because when I got to the house, I put salt in the water, because somebody told me you got to put salt in the water to drain the battery. So I put hella salt in the water, taped the top back up, and just left it on the porch for like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. I didn't know what to do with it. And then somebody was like, man, after you did that, you can throw it away now. I'm like, okay. So I finally got rid of it. But that was crazy.
Hey, you live and you learn.
Yeah, you learn.
That's cool.
I don't care how long you've been doing this, you're going to continue to learn if you keep doing it. Yeah. The longer you do it, the more you're going to learn. The longer you've been doing it, the more stuff you're going to be surprised when you learn it, because you're going to be like, damn, all this time I didn't know that.
But you learn stuff, like you say.
Yeah.
It's cool. Damn, nice. Thank you. This is awesome. We definitely going to get up flying right now. I want to get some video of you shooting this. And
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, we'll probably do this again next time. I'm so excited.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, bro.
Likewise. Thank you for having me, man. Let's get it, man. Send it time.
So you fly digital right now, right?
Yeah.
You see his antennas?
Yeah. Could I see his video through the goggles, or it has to be through?
No. So
Yeah.
You can connect the USB-C.
No, he can see through them goggles. Huh? If I put my broadcast on, he can watch through your goggles.
I brought my iPad too. I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, you can do it with the iPad too.
Oh.
It'll show right on the iPad.
Yep. That'd actually be better if you're gonna put the camera on it, because then you can put the camera on the iPad screen. It's a Volador VX5, dirty as a bitch, basher, smasher.
6S?
Yes, sir.
You like power?
Yeah.
You guys never go bigger than 6S, right?
Yeah. There's people running around with 8S. I don't see the need for it, but there's people running around with 8S on a 5-inch. It's fucking nuts to me, but yeah. They do it just because it's something they can do. Some people do it.
Damn.
That's literally the only fucking benefit, is just because they can. There's no need for that much. Give me 1 second.
Where'd you get those goggles, man? I thought you were running analog.
Nah, fuck no, I don't run no damn analog.
Fuck.
But that only from my whoops, I was running analog.
And this is exactly what he's seen. No! Damn.
Thought I was gonna hit that shit.
That's what he was talking about, taking risks.
I saw that.
That shit blacked all the way out. That's because I'm behind myself and wrapped in concrete.
So
when I dive it, I'm gonna have to do that shit from like in front of it somewhere. I can't black out in the middle like that. Ooh. I need to change my props too. These props are fucked. That's why it sound like that. I ain't gonna get close and get everybody all dusty.
Dude, that is so cool.
And it's cool, dude, because if you're with your friends, you just pass them your iPad. If you don't have an iPad, even your iPhone, like, hey, here's my iPhone. Come watch this thing really quick. What's up, y'all?
You can technically do it with any phone that you can plug a USB-C up to, really.
How often do you go through props?
On a day where I'm gonna be doing shit like this, I'll probably go through maybe 5-6 bags. So like 5 or 6 sets.
So you recommend having about 10 sets at a time?
Yeah, at least.
You go through them like you break them, or you go through them as...
Break them, bend them, fuck them up to where they need to be changed, yeah. That's why I'm changing them now, because these are all ate up, making all them fucking weird ass sounds.
Yeah, I can see it, like...
Yeah, this one's all ate up and bent and shit, yeah. I say pig props make you go 30% faster. But they're called pank. It ain't pink, it's pank. You gotta get pank props.
You have a certain color you like?
Whatever matches the quad for me mostly. I don't really give a damn about the colors. Cool. Unless I'm doing something like when I'm flying this one, because this is the only one I've ever like tried to make pretty with the color match and all the little shit. Other than that, I don't give a shit about no damn crop color. They all push wind.
Are there any motors that you like and any motors that you would tell people to stay away from?
Axis flying motors are good motors. Newbie drone motors are good motors. T-motor, of course, are good motors. MEPS motors are not horrible as people make them seem, but the company is. So a lot of people stray away from MEPS because the company's shitbags. So people don't buy from them because of that. But to be honest, their products aren't that bad. But it just depends on how much you pay attention to shit like that. Like if you care whether a company's kind of janky or not type shit. And it's not even really that they're janky, it's just they did some janky-ish stuff when they were first coming out with their marketing. And they was trying to like control people's fucking reviews that they gave. Like you had to sign a contract and then you're supposed to send your reviews to them first before you put them out and like all kinds of crazy shit.
Trying to control the
People
market.
spazzed on them about it and shit, but yeah, it was nuts.
What would you recommend for somebody trying to get into freestyle? Like go pick up a Nazgul?
Nah, fuck no. I fight shit. Build a Source One. Buy a Source One frame. It's cheap as shit. It's like 30, 40 bucks. Build a Source One frame and smash that motherfucker to pieces. By the time you get done fixing it over and over again, then you'll be ready for something more expensive because then you won't be crashing as much. And that'll be cheap to rebuild. Get you that, get you some Zing motors. You know what I mean? Real cheap Zing motors or some fucking T-motor V-Lox motors, real cheap motors. And a Speedy B stack, like 60 bucks, 70 bucks. Get you a Vista, you know what I mean? And send that bitch to, you know what I mean? Until you can't no more. That's the best advice I would give somebody new because it's cheap, but it's gonna do the job. It's all cheap, but it's gonna do the job. It's gonna get you used to flying. It's gonna get you learning these maneuvers and stuff so you're not crashing no more. And then it'll also teach you how to crash because there's a way to crash where you won't always break all your shit. You gotta try to crash belly first as much as possible. Let the bottom of the quad absorb most of the hit. You hit this arm, that arm's liable to break. Hit that arm liable to break. You hit straight on, you might break your camera. You hit in the back, you might fuck something up back there. You land it flat, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be all right. Or if you got plenty batteries and you don't care about possibly fucking starting a fire, flip over and land on the battery. That way you don't even hit your frame on nothing. You just hit the battery on whatever you crash into. that's a little harder to pull off, but it's not a bad idea sometimes. We'd rather smash the battery than the whole damn quad. Or an arm if you don't have replacement arms, especially if you somewhere, like say if you somewhere on a track chasing drift cars. You know you're getting ready to go down. I flip that motherfucker over and land on the battery rather than breaking an arm. It take less time to switch a battery than to do an arm.
Yeah.
Get right back in the air. Put another pack up, man. Put this motherfucker back up real quick. On some fresh props. There we go. Gotta make some space. I don't got an SD card in there. The other one's in my backpack. I could grab that, but do that next. Just fucking clear the card. Boom. There we go. Oh. Broke a prop. I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it. Props is either bent or shit or broken. Oh.
Dirt. You got hell dirt in there.
Mm-hmm. Good as new. Easy.
Dude, thank you so much for this.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Fucking awesome.
Where do you think you're going? Don't you run from me!
Dude, you can hear the power in that thing.
Yeah.
There's a ladder up there.
Nah, it's on the ground.
Oh, okay.
What do you think goes faster?
So our receiver either died or has popped the wire. I'm getting no receiver signal anymore. Might have killed the receiver though when I hit that fucking first beam up there.